Hello and welcome back to this edition of Eat Right with Rouses, as we're always glad to welcome in our favorite dietitian, April Sins with Rouses. Hi, April.
Hi, Keith. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm always looking for how to spice things up, and today's the day that you get to tell me lots of unique ways to spice things up.
Yes. So we're talking about 3 S's today. We're talking about seasoning, salsas, and sauces. So
All right.
I thought that was a fun pairing to be able to talk about because we all love to add flavor to our food. The thing that we need to look at, though, is we need to watch out how much sodium's in those flavors and what are some ideas for maybe seasoning things and kind of making it easy, but yet watching the sodium content and the sugar content and those types of things. Now, of course, you could find all types of seasonings and spices at Rouse's in the Rouse's brand, in the spice aisle. And what I want you to look for is look for the ones that say powder, not the ones that end with salt. And the reason why is because those are going to be the ones that you can control the sodium amount of what you're putting into your food.
Okay.
If you get the ones that with the salt, then just make sure that you remember that it does already have salt in it and not to add extra salt on top of that. So, looking at the sodium content for the day, and I'm sure if you watch this regularly, you've probably heard me say before that the American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day for an average person. Some people, it may be less. You have to talk to your healthcare provider. But 2,300 milligrams of sodium, that's not much, Keith. That's only a teaspoon of salt, okay? And that's for the whole day. And that's included in everything that we eat.
Right.
So let's look at some of the items that I have in front of me that maybe will give us some ideas. So let's talk about seasoning first. So you want to look for items that, like I just told you about, looking for the powders, but you could also look for some seasoning blends. So this is a local seasoning. It's called Oh My. And it is a low sodium seasoning. Yes. Cool. You can look for that one on the shelf at Rouse's. And I love that it's local as well. And then also, we all have heard of Tony Chachere's, right?
Right.
So look for the Tony Chachere's that says no salt on it. So it has the seasoning blend, but without the added salt. Now, if you're going to be cooking your meal and you want to add a little bit while cooking, that's up to you, but at least you know what you're putting into your food.
Right.
And then another thing is a lot of y'all have maybe heard of Mrs. Dash, and they have several blends. Now, Mrs. Dash is going to be salt-free, and so you can look for those. And this one in particular had my eye on because it says garlic and herb, and I love garlic. So that is a really great one. And then right here I have some salsas. So what I'm looking for in a salsa, typically what I look for is about 130 milligrams or less per serving. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but a serving of salsa is only 2 tablespoons. So it's not much, okay?
Oh, wow.
So,
that's just a few chips.
Yes, it is. So whenever you are serving salsa or when you're eating salsa, just kind of pay attention to make sure you're dipping and not scooping, okay? So that'll make it last a little bit longer, right?
Okay.
And then right here I have something called desert pepper, which is a black bean dip, which I think that is really good. I've actually tried that one before. It tastes delicious. And then the red gold salsa medium is also meets that as well. And then here is a creamy hot sauce. This is called Blue Top. And this is something that you could put on top of a dish, maybe on top of some fish or on top of a taco or you kind of use it for a variety of foods.
Okay.
Right here, I have some chips. So if I'm talking about salsa, I'm going to talk about chips, right? So this is a new chip that we just started carrying at Rouse's. It's called From the Ground Up, and it's a tortilla chip, and it's made with cauliflower. So definitely look for that in Rouse's because that's something really unique and different, and that'll go great with your salsa. Now let's talk about some other sauces. I just showed y'all the Blue Top, but I want to tell you about honey mustard. Okay, so honey mustard, we have that Rouse's honey mustard right here. I actually just pulled it right out of my fridge. Is going to be a lower sodium option. It's not going to have as much sodium. It only has 25 milligrams of sodium per serving. And then if you're looking at sugar content, you can look for a no added sugar ketchup. So ketchup does have some hidden sugars in it. Just be aware of that, and Heinz has one like that. And then Tabasco sauce, a lot of people are surprised to find out that Tabasco sauce really is not high in sodium. And then also the way you drop it onto the food, it doesn't give you large volumes at a time. So it's 35 milligrams per serving in the Tabasco sauce. So some really great options for seasoning food.
Well, and not only is it the great options, but it's those things where you can really balance out. We always talk about just a little dash because we use dashes. Yeah. And that's just one of those things, especially with the new flavors that they have. I'm a big fan as well of garlic. And so anything that I can add to the flavor of the foods is really helpful. And so it's terrific having the S's there, the 3 S's on trying to figure out what is the best way to enjoy your seasoning, being able to enjoy your salsa, and also being able to see what your sauces are for the options with that. So 3 great ideas for the S's today for that. And so we got about 20 seconds left. Close us out, Miss April.
Yes, so you can find more information on rouses.com under the Eat Right tab. And you can also find me on Facebook Live every week on the Rouses Market Facebook page as well, making some fun things like this.
Wonderful. And we appreciate it as always, April. Thanks so much for taking the time and for giving us these options for things that we can do in our lives. It tastes great and we can enjoy. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Keith.
All right, and that is April Sims with Eat Right with Rouses, and that'll do it for this edition. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming as we continue.